Classified France 44 has clearly been abandoned by the people over at Team 17 and Absolutely Games. It's also a sign of how mainstream gaming journalists are not doing their jobs. At all. This game is not a good piece of art about World War II. It's a buggy and sloppily designed mess. We can start with the story. Oh wait, there isn't one that actually matters as in XCOM or Baldur's Gate 3. Why is that? I'm not really sure how it contributed to the success of D-Day, especially since almost half of the ops are more than a month out. There isn't a single bit of progression that illustrates what I did to get Ike and Monty's men on shore. I'm just going here and there with a squad and repeating the same 3 objectives over and over and over again. Sure, the developers tried to play around with the idea of an arch nemesis. However, we meet him once, get away off screen, and never see him again. What was the point? To make matters worse, the characterization is so flat that it might as well be non-existent. Yeah, I get that Cassidy is religious and King likes to poop out oatmeal bars. Who talks like that, though? It even feels kind of disturbing to see them all act like Marvel heroes when they kill people. I'm not saying this out of some notion that World War II should be taken entirely seriously. This game is not Inglourious Bastards, though. It's based on true events. With all of that said, the gameplay takes what could have been an iffy game to the edge of catastrophe. The strategic layer is much like a board game. It's a little bare bones, but not the worst thing in the world. The only immersion snapper up here has to be the 2 to 4 day heals from gunshots. Most of its real problems arise from its interactions with the tactical layer. And yes, it's partially because this game takes clear inspiration from XCOM Chimera Squad. The battles are a disaster. Sometimes the game just doesn't do what I want it to do. In other cases, everything just hangs. The bugs are not the only problem. The difficulty curve is an exercise in trying not to put one's fist through the monitor. It starts off with relative parity, rises to present a challenge, and then blows off to Andromeda. That means that the player cannot afford any defeats or even more than one retreat at a time. It also presents the illusion of choice for potential builds. Every possible operative must make heavy investments in armor, piercing damage, and morale destruction. If that's not done by mid-game, you might as well start all over again. Even if you do, certain weapon types become nearly useless. See what I mean? This is just a reminder that I'm playing a video game, not fighting World War II. Now I know what you might be thinking. Of course you're playing a video game. Well, this artistic medium is not like any other. Developers must sell the idea that you're in a time and place instead of merely watching it. The music is a frustrating afterthought, and I think you can guess why just by listening to this video. There only seems to be 4 or 5 tracks in the entire game. Therefore, players are going to hear the same thing over and over and over again. Why? Oh. You know what the most irritating thing of all is? Classified France 44 could have worked. It just had to take more cues from XCOM 2 and the actual history. A story about how they survived and unleashed hell upon the Nazis could have solved almost every problem. Of course, that would have called for permadeath, nasty injuries, and a huge roster. We are talking about the most destructive conflict in human history, though. It's a part of the territory. Plus, it would have helped people appreciate the sacrifices made for liberation all the more. Instead, we have this. GG. I'll see you next time.